Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Christina. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to my first dedicated video about Parklane. Parklane is a multi-level marketing company that sells jewelry. So they're very much connected to paparazzi. The products are, well, I will give them that. The products are not necessarily as ugly. Some of the jewelry I have seen, they look somewhat decent. I mean, they're kind of a duplicate or kind of a replica of known designs, of known styles, but there are also some that are not great, that are really, really not great. This is the first time I speak about Parklane in a dedicated video because I found something online from somebody who is a leader in Parklane, and she is about to have her 5-year anniversary, and she is on her Instagram telling us what she wished she knew 5 years ago before she joined Parklane. If you are new to this channel, hello and welcome. If you're not new, thank you for coming back. Thank you for watching the videos. I am still amazed, and I know I say that a lot, but I truly am amazed by the amount of people that are interested in this content, that are interested in the videos, that show up every week and watch the videos. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Thank you for engaging in the comment section, giving these videos a thumbs up, and also thank you to those that give it a thumbs down. Thank you to the people that give suggestions either in the comment section or that reach out to me because they have content they would like for me to react to, or they have suggestions. If you yourself have anything you would like for me to react to, you can either DM me on Instagram, or if you have content you have screen recorded, you can upload that to your Google Drive and then share it with my email. My email address and my Instagram connections are linked down below. But let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the Parklane video. What this leader wished she had known 5 years ago.
Hello, hello. Happy Monday evening. I am coming to you all live tonight on 2 platforms, both Facebook and Instagram. And I've got a lot going on in my head right now. And so I thought, perfect timing, while all sorts of things are turning, I want to pop on here, say hello to all of you, and share tonight, the specific topic I want to talk about tonight is what I would tell myself 5 years ago if I had had the opportunity to do that as I was considering embarking upon a new partnership with a new company. And of course, that company being Parklane Jewelry, the company I've now been partnered with for 5 years. So, you know, it's really interesting when you go back, and I know all of us are guilty of this, when we go back and we look at, oh my gosh, this incident happened 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And if I could tell myself then what I know now, man, could things have possibly felt different, looked different, et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted to talk about that tonight. So in April, so in less than 4 weeks, actually, I'm going to be celebrating my 5-year anniversary with Parklane. And not only myself, but myself and 8 amazing women who chose to join me when we decided to take a sharp right turn and form a new partnership. And it was at that time one of, probably at the time, felt like the scariest thing I had ever gone through. And if I look back and I ask myself, why did it feel like the scariest thing that I was going through at that time? I think for me, it felt that way because I was walking away from a lot. And there was, if I'm honest, a lot of self-doubt that I could go and do it again. There was. And man, can that play a lot of tricks on you when, you know, you are working up against like a lot of self-limiting beliefs. And so I want to walk through with you guys, and maybe some of this advice will be helpful to some of you at some point, either currently, in the future, you never know. But whether you are considering making a change in your career, maybe you're considering leaving corporate America to make your part-time direct selling or network marketing gig your main gig. I've been there. I've been in that spot. So maybe that's something you're considering. Or maybe you have spent time with a company. Maybe it's your first company in the industry. Maybe it's your second company in the industry. And you are considering making a sharp right turn because, you've given it all, you've given it all you've got, and you're not experiencing the success that you're looking for.
She says that her leaving her former MLM about 5 years ago was the scariest thing she had done at the time because she was leaving behind a lot. That is MLM for I was in a multi-level marketing company, I had a team, and for whatever reasons, I decided to leave. Let me just translate that, and I don't doubt that that is scary. Any change, whether it is connected to an MLM or to an actual job, to an actual profession, is scary. But in an MLM where you very much depend on a team of people and not just on your own hard work, that can be even scarier. So I get that. If somebody is considered a leader and was in an MLM before, it is primarily their job to leave that MLM if they realize that their paycheck is tanking or that their team is not performing. They have to, in order for that leader to make a certain amount of income, it is their job to recruit as many people as possible, and when they leave, to take as many people with them to the new MLM without outwardly cross-recruiting, because that can legally be very damaging, because many times in the terms and conditions, you're not allowed to cross-recruit. And then there might be legal action against you from your former MLM, so you might need to be careful about that, but that is pretty much what your primary job is. Take as many people with you from your former MLM as possible without outwardly recruiting them, so that from a legal standpoint, the old company cannot do much against you. She was also talking about limiting beliefs. That is pretty much just another brainwashy term we hear a lot in network marketing. If you're not as successful as you want to be in MLM, it is because you are limiting what you can do, your beliefs, your doubt, and your fears. They're kind of blocking your success. So it is a way to describe mindset, and it is also a way to describe that you should brainwash yourself into believing that when you start in an MLM, when you need to rebuild because half of your team broke away, or because when you're switching over from one MLM to another and you try to take as many people with you, you can do it despite your beliefs, despite your doubts. That is pretty much what this means, and it's just a culty way to say, believe until you can achieve it.
Whatever it may be. Oh, my video has ended on Facebook. Well, that's rude, Facebook. My video is totally ended. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did or didn't do there. Let's see. All right. Well, you know what? Give me just a second here. I'm going to go back. Maybe I can try again. I don't know. I don't know what just happened there. Or maybe if you are on Facebook, just come over here and join us on Instagram. I have no idea what just happened there. So we're going to roll with this on, maybe I wasn't on my personal page. Okay. Maybe that's it. Maybe I wasn't on my personal page. So I don't know. We're just going to roll with this on Instagram tonight. And hopefully those that were on Facebook will come and join me on Instagram. So let's talk about if I knew then what I know now, what I would be telling myself. So number one, and this is an obvious one, but faith over fear. Always, always, always faith over fear. Like, I can't tell you how impactful the fear was in my head. Sometimes greater than others, but to the point that it was almost debilitating. And it's not because I was fearful in where I was headed. I think it was because I was fearful in myself. And honestly, my company really did a good job. The company I was leaving did a great job of trying to convince me that I wouldn't be able to have success again, that it was kind of like a one-hit wonder, essentially. So there was a lot of fear, but every day I had to get up and remind myself that, man, trust yourself, trust the process. You can do this. We've got this. And I just put my head down and I went to work every day because that's what I could control. And that's what I did. The second thing is, when you make a big change, whether you are making a big change in your career, whether you are making a change within the direct selling or network marketing industry, whether you are, starting over. Maybe you've been a stay-at-home mom for a while and you're getting back out into the workforce. Maybe you've been a stay-at-home mom for a while and you are starting in a direct selling or network marketing career. You're not starting over. You're starting with experience. And that's, I think, something that at the time I didn't realize how important that was. But what took me 10 years to build the first time, I did in 3 here. And it's not because, I was like superhuman. It's because I had experience. I knew what I was doing. And I had programs and a company supporting me to help me grow faster and stronger and bigger. So, we've had a lot of people that have joined us these last 5 years who have come from other companies. Parklane attracts some of the best talent in the industry because we offer the best programs in the industry and we have the best compensation in the industry. And most will say that they've been able to walk through this door and experience the success that they are looking for and needing and wanting much faster. And it is because you're starting over with experience. And that matters. You're not having to learn it all from the beginning. So it's really important. I wish then I thought I was going to potentially be a one-hit wonder. Now I realize I should have never questioned that because I had it. I absolutely had it.
Faith over fear, which just pretty much means ignore the doubt and believe that things will be happening for you because God wants you to be successful. Religious manipulation is really prominent in multi-level marketing, not just with this individual, but with a lot of leaders. And I find it really disgusting to see because in a way it is a tool for people to convince other people who have a similar belief system, similar faith-based beliefs, to make them believe that their Lord and Savior, their religious entity that they pray to, the person they believe in, the sky daddy, or whatever you want to call that, whatever your spiritual or your religious beliefs are, that icon, that belief wants you to join a multi-level marketing company and be successful. And that couldn't be further from the truth. It is gross, okay? Religious manipulation is gross because you're kind of utilizing one cult. And I'm not saying that everybody who has a certain belief, who is religious, is also in a cult. But organized religion very, very quickly can become a cult. And in that case, you're utilizing one cult to recruit people into a system that is culty as well, and that is the MLM. It is more likely that you will make somebody believe God wants you to join, God wants you to stay longer. And when you connect those two cults, then you make it harder for somebody to leave that system if they connect their faith and their God to this business model. She describes something that I would consider a rather shady experience as well. When you tell your former company, I'm going to leave, and they tell you, yeah, you'll never make it without us. That is not a great feeling, I get it. But why did that former MLM tell her that? Because she was considered a leader, because she had a team of people. And MLMs are very much based on recruitment. So the more people are on that team, the more people are in the company, the more leaders with big teams you have, the better the company does. And that's why they went that shitty route and probably told her, nah, you will never make it. That is not great. But I would say it is also something you have to expect in an MLM. And then she's talking about experience when you start over, when you go to a new business, when you go to a new MLM, you already have experience. So you're not starting at zero. It will be easier for you. While that is not wrong, if you understand how the MLM business model works, you have experience, you can utilize that better. But in her case, she already had a team. And it looks like she is aiming at a lot of people, but specifically at leaders who have already joined Parklane. It looks like they're targeting other leaders to come over to this MLM. If you already have a team and you're able to recruit them into the new company or cross-recruit them without making that too obvious, then you will be very much more successful way quicker than you were before. You already had a team. You have your built-in customers, you have your built-in audience. But that is not true for the single mom she spoke about. When you are a mom and you're a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home parent, then that is something that will give you a lot of experience. Absolutely. It doesn't mean, though, that you will be successful in an MLM, where lots of topics and lots of points are connected to success. If you have a team, it is more likely that you will be successful than somebody who doesn't have a team. If you already have a certain social media following, it is more likely that you will be successful than somebody who doesn't have that. If you're good at approaching people, then it is more likely that you will be more successful than somebody who doesn't have that talent. All of those points taken into consideration are really, really important. Just because you've already lived a life and you have life experience doesn't mean that that experience will make it easier for you to be successful in an MLM. She had a team before. That is why she was able to be successful faster in her second MLM than in her first one.
The third is I had the success because of me, not because of the company that I was associated with. And that is incredibly important for each and every one of us to know. If you have experienced success anywhere, you had success because of you, not because of the company you were associated with. And I'll give you another perfect example of that.
I find it important to mention that, and in a way I find it good that she also says your success is not just connected to your company, it's also what you did. I think MLM reps should give themselves more credit for what they have done and not just assign that to the MLM. But let's not forget the motive here. Your success is because of your team. If you don't have a big team, you will not be successful in an MLM. And this is somebody who is in Parklane, who is obviously trying to recruit people that already are in other MLMs, that already have a team, try to get them over to her MLM. Let's not forget this. Yes, if you achieve something in your life, give yourself credit. Absolutely, I'm all here for it. MLM reps do that so little. It is actually sad to see. If you achieved something, speak up about it. But in this case, it's a tactic and it's a tool to recruit people and tell them your success was not connected to the company. It's connected to your team, so just come on over and take your team with you, because that's really what it is. Your success is because of your team.
Like, I worked in the pharmaceutical industry for 12 years. And I went to work for one of the biggest in the industry. It was a giant. And with that, I'm sure we got some of the best training in the industry. Our company was known for having some of the best training. So I could say, well, I was fortunate enough to get hired by one of the biggest and the best, fortunate enough to get hired to have one of the best trainings in the industry at my fingertips. Okay, great. But not everybody earned President's Club, and I earned President's Club. So we all got hired by the same company. We all had access to the same training, but some earned President's Club and a lot didn't. And I was always earning President's Club. And again, it was because I was committed, because I was willing to do the actions, to do the work, potentially maybe at times work harder than others. I mean, I don't know. It was a long time ago, but you know, it's no different in the network marketing and direct selling industry. And I say that specifically to potentially leaders that I'm talking to who have had success, but maybe you can't help your team have the success that they're looking for.
I'm sorry, but you cannot compare success in the corporate world to an MLM. First of all, if an actual reputable company hires you, it is because you already have a certain experience, that you have a certain CV, you have a certain education that is beneficial for this, and then you get training. And yes, whatever you do with that training and however you do your job very much also depends on the resources a company gives you, but also your individual ability that you can further. But we're talking about MLMs here. We're talking about recruitment, and the fact that she is mentioning now people who are in MLMs that have teams is very telling. Let's not compare a reputable corporate job to MLMs. It's not a comparison that you can do.
That was my issue. I was having more success than I'd ever had in my life, ever thought I would be able to have, earning more than I ever thought I'd be able to have. But I couldn't help my team and my leaders earn what they needed and wanted to earn. And therefore, I couldn't keep people. They would leave as fast as they came. And as you know, my company was not responsible for my success. And also, my team was not responsible for the lack of success that they weren't having. And many felt that way. Many felt that if they couldn't have success there, then they weren't meant for this business, that success wasn't for them. And one of the reasons that I chose to partner with Parklane is because 67 years in the business, success is for everyone here. You can come in and have no experience, very little experience, or have had very minimal success with another company and come in here and knock it out of the park. And it's because Parklane is different. And you don't know until you know, and you don't know until you get educated. But Parklane is very different, and the programs here are what make the difference. The programs, the people, and the product, the 3 Ps as we call it. So that is something else that I wish, I lost a lot of really good people my first 10 years in business with my first company, a lot of really talented people because they felt success was not for them. And if I could do it over again, I would 5 years ago be telling myself, like, you don't have to go prove to yourself here first that success is for everyone. Like, trust that it is and go tell the world about it. And I think in the beginning I was a little hesitant because I had to prove it for myself first, right? But it is one of the things that I've learned, that just because you have not had success with a company doesn't mean that you can't be successful. You got to have everything lined up just right. And thankfully at Parklane, we have the programs to support that.
It is a lot of work to be in an MLM and to pretty much be working 24/7, reaching out to people all the time, trying to sell products, trying to recruit. It is a lot of work. I find it difficult to describe what you're doing in an MLM as actual work. The tasks are very simple, but you have to do them over and over again. I think it can get boring pretty quickly, besides the scammy aspect, but I don't doubt that people who are in MLMs work really, really hard and that they work 24/7. But that does not mean that you will be successful in an MLM. Your personality is important, the timing of you joining a company. Let's not forget, this is somebody who was in an MLM before, who was a leader before. She already had a team, and that is your worth. And that is your value in an MLM. I wish more people in network marketing would really distance their worth from what they're doing there. I think it could be beneficial to them. But when we're talking business in an MLM, the size of the team, of the people that you have recruited, is essential. That is your business worth in an MLM. And she is pretty much firing up that hope. You were not successful in your former MLM. Come to this one. Hopefully you will be successful here. And that is yet again another predatory technique. Just because it didn't work out for you in the former company, it might work out now because our company is better, the products are better, the systems are better, the compensation plan is. But essentially, they never are. They're pretty much the same. They're almost identical. And why is that the case? There might be minimal differences in different MLMs, but across all MLMs, according to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, over 99.6% of people in MLMs across the board don't make money, but they lose money. That is because the business system is not set up for the majority of people to succeed. Vast majority of people in network marketing have to pay into a system so that the few people at the top are able to profit. The business model, the system in MLMs is set up for the majority of people to financially not succeed. That is why people are not successful in MLMs, with the exception of a few. And Parklane is no different there. Take a look at any income disclosure statement available from any MLM, and the numbers are super duper similar. Most of the people are at the bottom, they will not make money, and only very few are at the top, and they make the money. And I would love to prove it to you with the income disclosure statement from Parklane. It has been on the market for almost 70 years now, but they do not have an income disclosure statement available, and I find that telling. If you've been on the market for almost 70 years, you for sure have enough data to show us how much the people in Parklane make on average and how much the people make at the individual ranks. Everybody in every MLM claims that their MLM is different. culture, the compensation plan, the people, the corporate side. But in the end, at the core, all MLMs are the same. Minor differences when it comes to the compensation plan, the incentive trips might be to different locations, the car programs or the pension programs might be a little bit different, but essentially they're all the same. It is just, again, a PR tool and a PR move for people in that MLM to tell other people that their MLM is better. So if you were not successful in the MLM before, it is because the culture there was not good. The compensation plan wasn't good. In this MLM, it's totally different, so join and you will experience that. But yet again, that is not possible. Because if there was an MLM where everybody was successful, where everybody was at the top of the compensation plan, and nobody would dare to pay into the system at the bottom ranks, then that MLM system would collapse. It is not possible.
Another thing I would tell myself, 5 years ago when I was coming in here, I was wanting to believe that ground floor opportunity did not mean, the best opportunity, because I was walking away from what was a ground floor opportunity. Yes, I was. But now that I've been here 5 years, I joined a company when it was 62 years old. We're now 67 years old, and I've risen to the top of the comp plan. I've become a top earner. I've out-earned what I did in my other company when it was the bright and shiny new object in a ground floor opportunity. I'm here to tell you, ground floor opportunity does not mean the best, okay? It does not. I can walk you through a lot of ground floor opportunities of companies that have now shut down. And I feel like what's better than ground floor opportunity is generational ground floor opportunity. And what I mean by that is I have joined a 67-year-old company. We now have our second and third generation, that family that is running this company. The company's still family owned and operated. The family has no debt. The company has no debt. There are no outside investors. We own the building. We own parts companies and manufacturer companies that we partner with and work with in order to, manufacture all of the jewelry that we work with. And when you have 67 years in business behind you and buying power, like our Sparkle Box right now, our March Sparkle Box that I just received yesterday. It's absolutely so gorgeous. You can subscribe to our subscription box. This is the premium box for $39. You get 2 items. This is this month. So beautiful for $39. It's a subscription. It comes monthly. You can cancel at any time. The value of what I'm wearing right now is probably valued at like $250, $300, seriously. And you can get this as a customer for $39. The buying power with our company is 60 years of relationships, quantities that, drive the cost down. It's incredible. So ground floor opportunity does not mean the best opportunity. And in my case, I am a big believer in generational ground floor opportunity. This time around.
This time around, she is a believer in generational ground floor opportunity. Gotta give it to her. That is creative. Never heard that term before. I think in an MLM, you have to twist it however you need it. She joined the company before that was a ground floor opportunity, and she left that company because after a certain period of time, I suspect she simply didn't make as much money as she did before, which is typical in the beginning, and then that will simmer down. So now she has to come up with ideas and with information why it is okay to join a company that has been on the market for almost 70 years. Come on. Of course, you cannot claim something in a company that has been on the market for 67 years that you'll be joining a company with a ground floor opportunity. Ground floor opportunity is one of the factors that will make it easier for you to be successful in an MLM. And if you cannot offer that in Parklane, you gotta cut that out and make generational ground floor opportunity out of that. That is absolutely ridiculous. There are certain points that are essential if you want to be successful in an MLM, and the ground floor opportunity, aka joining early when the market is not yet saturated, preferably when the company is still in the pre-sale, pre-launch phase, where you cannot even sell the products to actual customers, only to distributors. That is of advantage. because you will be able to join early. The market for that MLM is not saturated, and the majority of people who join after you will be on your team. That's why it is of advantage to join early. It is not a guarantee, that is true. And some companies that are new, that are considered ground floor opportunities, are not doing so well. Alomir is one of those examples. They just came out with their second product. There are lots of circumstances connected to that, and if it's a really awkward, really weird, really gimmicky company, then the likelihood of rising in the ranks and for the company to grow, that will be difficult if you just have some stupid gimmicky products. Yes, but it is still a greater chance for the majority of people who join early to rise in the ranks and therefore be successful. Why was she, though, successful in Parklane, a company that has been on the market for so long? Because she was a leader in another MLM and she was able to take a good amount of people on her team with her. She says she started out with 8 people, but those people probably were able to recruit former people on their teams. She was able to do so as well. I have a feeling that that is an important part, and we're leaving this out here. She had a team before. That is why she's able to be successful in an established MLM.
Also, big red flag. When actions don't match words. I spent 10 years hearing a lot of words and the actions weren't matching them from my first company. And I now been with a company for 5 years where their actions match their words. There's not a dog and pony show. There's not smoke and mirrors. And that happens a lot in the world with companies, right? So you've got to trust your intuition. You're smart. And when actions do not match words, that's a red flag when it happens over and over and over again. Big red flag. And loyalty is not something to, I'm a very loyal person, incredibly loyal person. I spent 12 years with my first pharmaceutical company. While I was there those 12 years, I watched many people leave and go to another company where they had a better opportunity, et cetera, et cetera. I spent 12 years there, never considered leaving, never, until I left to then become a small business owner. I had a small business for 10 years until recession of 2008 hit, and I needed a way to supplement my income, and I turned to the direct sales space, and then I spent 10 years with that first company. I'm a very loyal person. Deciding to leave a company and for not only a better opportunity for yourself and your own family, but a better opportunity for those that you're going to lead and coach and mentor, that's not being disloyal or being a quitter. That's being smart. That's called business, and in the 10 years I was at my first company, it was 5 years of growth and 5 years of decline, man. 5 years of decline. So after 5 years of decline, I was like, I got to put my business hat on here and I got to go look for a better opportunity, period. So, what I would tell myself 5 years ago as I was walking through this door full of fear, I would say, way riskier to stay than it was to go. And, trust your gut, sister. You've got this. Get busy. And don't let the naysayers slow you down. That's what I would tell myself.
In MLMs, it is typical that you have more words than action. That is true, but that is true for all MLMs. Why is that the case? Because the system is built against people joining and being financially successful. That is why this system, where the vast majority of people will financially not succeed, is not built on action, but on words and smoke and mirrors and dogs and ponies? I never heard that term before, but I find that so cute. In my case, leave out the ponies, give me all of the dogs. There's so much happening around that you do not realize what a shitty opportunity MLMs are. The same here. It is a multi-level marketing company, and I find it ironic because that is something that MLM reps will also say. In this MLM, it's different. Corporate really cares about you. They're giving more money back into your pocket, and they really care about you, and they're showing that with action. And how do they describe that? Well, we have certain incentive trips and we have a card program. No, those are incentive trips you have to work towards. It's a tool to keep people in the company. That is not action. So in my opinion, there's always more words in a system like an MLM, like Parklane, than action. And I have a feeling that she is more and more speaking to people who were in an MLM before, who are leaders who might want to leave their MLM to join Parklane. And she pretty much also outed that she didn't leave her first MLM because her team wasn't succeeding, but because she wasn't making enough money. In the first 5 years of the new MLM she joined, that she describes as a ground floor opportunity, she was building and she was rising, and then it was 5 years of decline. That is ironic because she is now also at the 5-year mark in Parklane. Let's see what the next 5 years will look like, but that is typical for a recruitment-based business. In her first MLM, it was a ground floor opportunity, and in the first 5 years, she was able to recruit a lot of people, and then that simmered down in the last 5 years, because you cannot keep up the speed of recruitment that you did at the very beginning of an MLM. So naturally, that will die down. That is true for all MLMs. And now she's in the beginning phase as well in the first 5 years at Parklane. And her advantage in this case is she already had a team. And that just proves that MLMs are not sustainable business models. For whatever reason, some people are able to be financially successful, but that doesn't mean that they will continue to be. And we see that across the board with MLMs that have been on the market for a good amount of time. Lots of leaders are leaving the MLMs with their teams. Whether that is Monate, whether that is Arbonne, whether that is ItWorks, whether that is Body. They're going over to new MLMs where the compensation plan, in my opinion, is more recruitment-based. Therefore, it makes it easier for them because they already have a big team. You cannot keep the recruitment machinery at the same speed as you did 5 years ago. And I agree with her when she says, you're not a failure if you leave an MLM. Now, she's twisting it in the way, you're not a failure if you leave one MLM because you see that the business is not working out for you and you're going to a new one, when your company and when also the team members or your upline might want to tell you, no, if you leave, you're a failure, you will not achieve anything. So there's a certain incentive here for her to twist and turn it in that way. But in my opinion, I would say you're not a failure if you leave an MLM in general, if you realize that you're pumping money into a system that doesn't repay you. You're not a failure because you didn't make it to the top of the compensation plan, because you were not able to make this successfully possible for you to be financially stable. The system is built against the majority of people. And if you realize that you might need to leave the company because you're not seeing financial success, then you are not a failure. You're actually doing something really, really smart. I wish that most people would realize that and would not try to be successful in another MLM, pretty much play into the hands of people like this who probably understand the business model rather well, because the likelihood of you being successful in another MLM, they're also not greater. All of the factors I've mentioned before are really important. Timing of you joining, do you have a team? But it is okay to say, I'm leaving the MLM business industry, because it is not for most people to be financially successful. You're not a failure, you're actually doing something smart. And maybe I should start some sort of haters bingo on this channel or do a haters live stream. I've never done a live stream on this channel so far, but maybe something like this, because every time somebody posts something like this on their social media, I have to laugh, I have to chuckle. If you were actually in a reputable business, you wouldn't see people address the haters as many as MLMers do. So I will have to come up with something either with a haters playlist or with a haters warning, red flag, guinea pig. Oh, I should do a haters guinea pig. Oh, I will come up with something, because it is ridiculous how many times I have heard haters being mentioned in multi-level marketing.
Another thing I would tell myself that I I hoped and I prayed, but I didn't really know until I got in and got busy, was that not all companies are created equal. And there are actually a lot of really big differences between them. Really big differences. There's a lot of big differences here at Parklane, but one of the most obvious that is felt the fastest is that here at Parklane, 73 cents of every dollar goes into our compensation program, or at most companies, it's 32 to 35 cents of every dollar. So you feel that immediate impact from day one. From day one, same amount of volume, same amount of sales, you're earning 2 to 3 times more from day one. And Parklane, that's, Parklane's philosophy. They put the biggest investment in the most important thing, and that's their people. And it attracts the best talent. And it's been providing 67 years of success as a result. So not all companies are created equal. It's not just the compensation program. There's a lot as well that plays in. But people ask often, well, how is your company able to afford that? How is your company able to spoil your hostesses with the $400 shopping spree when they have 10 friends shop? Or how's your company able to take you and 150 of your team members on 5-night, 6-day, 5-star luxury vacations, not once, but twice a year around the world? Right now we're working to earn a trip to Paris. I mean, it's crazy. How do they do that? Well, Parklane doesn't have investors, so they're not having to pay the investors. Our founders only collect 2% of the revenue annually. 2%. That's it. They've already had their success. They've already made their millions. They are set. Their mission here is different. It's not about how many dollars they can collect. It's about how big of an impact we can make and how many lives they can change. And for 67 years, the Levine family who own Parklane have been very smart with their investments. And they were very conservative for many years when their mom and dad were growing and building the business. The first 13 years that our founders owned the business, they never took a vacation. The first 13 years, they never took a vacation because they were building and reinvesting and building the company. So we are now getting to enjoy the benefits and the perks of that. And it's huge. And not all companies are created equal. There are very big differences that make a very big impact.
At the core, all MLMs are created equal and there are hardly any differences. The business model is the same across all MLMs. That is bogus. 70 cents of the dollar, according to her, goes back into the compensation plan. Monate claims that 50% goes back into the compensation plan. Other companies claim that 30 to 40% goes back into the compensation plan. But who profits off of the compensation plan? The leaders, the people that have the biggest teams. The money does not only go back into the commission and into the bonus payments, but also the potential trips and the car programs, the incentive programs that you can earn, yes, but who is able to participate in these? Not the people at the lower ranks, only the people at the top. And that is the same across all MLMs. I do not care if the company gave 110% back to the distributors and invested 10% of their own. The money is not distributed evenly in an MLM. The people at the top make most of that money and the people at the bottom make little to nothing. That is not a flex. Might sound interesting to those who have a big team, who might become leaders rather quickly in Parklane. That is not true for the majority of people. And what is this weird claim about the owners? They already had their success. They're here for impact and not success. No, she said it before. It's a business. Parklane wasn't profitable for the owners. They would get rid of that, or they would try to change the setup. Whatever they're doing, it's a business. Parklane is not a charity. So the owners need to make money. And if it is sufficient for the owners to take out 2% of their business every year for themselves, then that is a choice. That doesn't mean that this company is better for the people that will join the company as distributors. Absolutely not. Parklane is not a charity. It is a business. It is a multi-level marketing business. And how do you make money in MLMs? By recruitment, by recruiting as many people into your downline who will then pay into a system. Let's not forget this. Not a charity.
Another thing I would tell myself 5 years ago, I knew it was going to matter. I felt in my gut it was going to matter, but man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, does it matter? Being demoted is not empowering or inspiring or motivating. And those of you that work in the industry, you know what I'm talking about. So at my first company, if you didn't hit your pay rank over a certain number of months, then you lost that career title and you were demoted. And you had to earn it back. And that happened to me on a few occasions, and it happened to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of my team members over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. And we would say, well, it's not about the title. Well, it was about the title because you earned less when you had a lesser title. You earned less when you had a lesser title. At Parklane, we don't get demoted. I was brought in through our direct appoint program with at the level comparable to the success I'd experienced. And I would forever have been that level, but I actually promoted up a level to that Parklane brought back a level that they had not had here in over 20 years. And I am forever that level every single week. And I'm paid at that level every single week. And, you know, maybe that matters for me, but more importantly, I have a team that doesn't get demoted. And you know what? They are more empowered and more inspired and more motivated because they're not getting demoted and they are paid at their rank every week. And when my company told me, but financially that's not possible to do that, like we can't do that. Well, you can do it because Parklane does it. Parklane does it. And our leaders don't leave here. They don't leave. They stay. There are Parklane leaders that have been here 25, 30 years. It's amazing. So maybe they leave to retire, but they don't leave to go for a better opportunity. It's incredible. So anyway, it matters.
The terminology is something I disagree with. You're not getting promoted in an MLM and you're not getting demoted. Those are typical terms that you use in an actual corporate job where you get an actual salary. Then you might get promoted to a different job title with a different salary, and you might get demoted. I myself have seen that twice in my entire career in the media industry, that 2 people were demoted. And that sucks, yes, but that is not what happens in an MLM. In an MLM, you might be able to hit a rank and then you might lose a rank. And that is typical for most MLMs, yes, that you might have to hit a rank. And then if you do not hold the requirements, the qualifications for that rank, you will lose that rank. And you might be able to keep the rank title for a certain period of time. That is the case in Demoted, for example. I think they update the titles after a year. If you haven't been able to re-rank again after a year, it will also show up on their website and it will also show up on their PR tools, and that sucks. I don't doubt that. The same is true for Sensi, for example. If you hit the highest rank there, the superstar director, that is your paid as rank. But a lot of people currently are, or not too long ago, were on their social media, and Sensi specifically, who are or were at the rank of superstar director, but it is not their paid as rank. And after about a year or a little bit over a year, the people didn't know themselves. Their title might be taken away from them. And that sucks. Yes. I disagree with the multi-level marketing business industry and with this entire setup because it sucks and because it is predatory. But if you have achieved a rank, then you lose that rank again. It is not motivating. I get that. And while it sounds nice that you're able to keep that rank, the people that are closest to you on that team, they probably know that this is not your paid as rank anymore. It is still nice that you're able to keep that title, but if you don't fulfill the requirements, yes, the title will be taken away from you. That might not be the case in Parklane, but that doesn't mean that this will remain your paid as rank. That is not true. She is leaving out a lot of information here. I have a feeling, and I will take a closer look at Parklane and also take a look at that. Because if we take a look at Parklane's compensation plan, we see that it is very much based on recruitment and on sales. You have sales minimum, you have personal volume, you have group volume. And while you might be able to potentially keep the commission you make when you're at the highest rank, at the sales vice president, with 50% of commission, then you make more than somebody who is at the fashion director rank, who makes 30% commission off of the products you sell. Let's take the sales vice president as an example. Let's say you're able to hit that rank, and from now on, you will continue to get 50% of commission. Or even if we go higher with the VP franchise owner, she said that they had to open up or reopen a rank for her when she joined, you will be paid a good amount of commission, more than the people at the lower ranks. If you're able to hit the sales vice president rank with, let's say, 300 people, and you have fulfilled all of the requirements, and then you're losing 299 people, then you will not make the same money you did with 300 people on your team. You're able to probably keep the 50% commission off of the products you sell and on the commission of your team's sales, but you will not be able to participate in the recruitment the degree you did before. And in addition to that, you also need to be able to sell product, to even get a commission, and to recruit people to rank up. Those are the two main requirements also in Parklane. And that, in my opinion, means that the compensation plan is not better just because you're allowed to keep a title. Your paycheck will tank when your team leaves in Parklane as well.
And the last thing I will say, what I would have told myself 5 years ago, especially in those moments when I was really doubting, you got to trust your gut. You do your due diligence, and then you trust your gut. Because this is the deal. It doesn't matter what the world thinks. It doesn't matter what your critics think. You and I have to, at the end of the day, do what is best for us, what is best for our families. And when I was making my decision, I was doing what was best for the future families who I was going to be impacting. That's what I was doing. And I knew if I went out and helped and served others to be able to make a big impact in their lives, then I would be able to make a big impact in mine as well. And there were moments that I didn't trust. And what I would tell myself is, you should have trusted every single day. Trust your gut. You did your due diligence. You found lots and lots of reasons why to make the change. You couldn't find one reason why not to make the change. Not a reason that was relevant enough. So anyway, it's incredible to think about the fact that I almost didn't make this change. I almost didn't make this change.
Yeah, we get it. You almost didn't make the change.
Our life would look very different now. And more importantly, all of the incredible people that I had had the opportunity to work with their lives would look very different as well. And I would not have had the opportunity to continue making the impact in this world that I now get to do with Parklane as my business model to do it with. So anyway, I hope this information is helpful for you guys tonight. If any of it resonated with you and you want to connect, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm just telling you, life is too short to be miserable. Life is too short to not earn what you are worth. Life is too short to just, lock arms and give it one more year. Life is too short. If you've done all you can do, you've tried everything you've tried, and it's still not working, it's time to look for another opportunity and a better opportunity. So anyway, love you all. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll talk later. Bye.
That is my favorite part. Ending the live, ending a call, and you do not know where the exit button is. That always cracks me up. Also in my actual reputable job where I get paid a salary at the end of the month. I love this. And I don't disagree with her. Life is too short. Yes, life is too short, so don't join an MLM. But the contradictions in this call, there are real. At the beginning and at the end, she says that it was so important for her because her team wasn't doing well. And now she's in Parklane and everything is fine and dandy because she's impacting the lives of other people. And she would have never met those incredible people. But in the middle of the call, I think she spoke more truthfully when she said she was able to recruit for the first 5 years in her first MLM. And then she saw all of those people leave because they didn't see success. Ultimately, that's also why her paycheck tanked. You're not being a charitable person. You're not doing MLM for altruistic reasons. You're doing this because it's a business, as she has admitted to. And I don't disagree with that. All of the smoke and mirrors and dogs and ponies, I will adjust this to my liking. All of the dogs and guinea pigs, all of the fluff aside, you will not be successful in an MLM if you don't have a big enough team. I don't disagree with the fact that you should do what is best for you. And if you realize that something business-wise is not working out for you, take a step back, consider what you can do better to make this work for you. But I disagree with the sentiment of try a new MLM if the old one hasn't worked out. Already spoke about all of the factors that have to be taken into consideration. We're talking about somebody who was considered a leader in an MLM before, and even her paycheck was crumbling in the MLM before. She was able to build a team over the course of 5 years, and then she saw those people leave. That is not a charitable activity. That is listening to your own bank account and seeing that you cannot continue like this because you're bleeding people. Then you go to a new MLM and hope that everything will be better there. And she had the advantage of a team she already had from her first MLM. Let's not forget that. This live was not a live designed to attract other people to change their lives. It is a tale as old as time. Go on live, try to recruit more people, try to attract new people. Apparently, in her case, what she likes to do is to attract people who are in MLMs, who already have a group of people under them, who are already considered leaders, and make them come to Parklane by pretending that this is a better opportunity. All MLMs at the core are created the same. Let's not forget that either. To me, from what I have seen and what I have heard, Parklane is just a normal MLM. Their compensation plan is pretty much recruitment based, and you have to hit a certain sales goal and sales volume, group volume. That is typical for all MLMs. You might be able to keep your rank, but that doesn't mean that you will be paid as much as you do with a bigger team. That is something I do not believe. And then the incentives she spoke about, the trips. Every MLM pretty much offers incentive trips and incentive programs. That is not new to an MLM. In every MLM, you will do better if you have a bigger team. If you don't have a team, if you're not able to recruit people, if you're not able to sell, you're not able to make money. That is true for all MLMs, and in my opinion, Parklane is no different there. What did you think? Was there something specific about Parklane that stood out to you, that you believe it might be different than other MLMs? At least I couldn't get it. I will continue to keep an eye out for Parklane, a company that has already been on the market for almost 70 years. It will be interesting to follow their journey from my end. If you like these types of videos, please consider subscribing. If you like this specific one, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to let me know something, then please feel free to do that in the comment section down below. And if you like these types of videos, then hopefully I will see you in my next one. Until then, cheers!